Alright, muri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakare ipo pano paZim News update apo patinoda kupa first hand update anonga ari kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. So tine nhauwa yanetsa kupera, nhauwa yeConstitutional Amendment Bill number 3 apo patiri kuona kune vamwe vari kuda kutorera advantage vamwe because tiri kuona kuti yava ZANU PF versus ZANU PF kusanganisirawo nema opposition nema citizen havasi kufara nedanho iroro reConstitutional Amendment Bill number 3 sezvo zvatiri kuziva kuti wamunangagwa vari kuda kuzama nepavanogona napo kuti vange vachiextenda temu yavo ne2 years kuti vange vachisvika 2030 muri yeZimbabwe. So tiri kuona ma-ex-combatants kusanganisira zvakutokonzesa division because kwese kwane division muri yeZimbabwe. Kutanga kuma citizen chaicheko kwane division, ma-civilians atone division, toti mubato reZANU PF kwane division, ku-opposition kwane division, ku-army kwacho kwane division, ku-police kwane division pamusaka pe-Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 iroro bozi kune vamwe vari kurisimbisa bozi vari kurisimbisa vari kuwana something muri yeZimbabwe kutaura chokwadi kune vari kurisimbisa vese mungava muri mumauto mungava muri sort of like ma-civilian bozi kune vari kurisimbisa vari kuwana zvavari kuwana kubudikidza nebato reZANU PF kubudikidza nekusimbisa futi Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 iroro. So tiri kuona kuti zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka muri yeZimbabwe. Pane runyere kupe rekubuda kubva kunana comrade Soko vanoshandira military intelligence kuti musi wa 29 May panogona kumuka chibhebenenge sezvo zvetiri kuona kuti nguva yadhana the late president Robert Mugabe ndo zvazvakatanga kungoita izvozvo muri yeZimbabwe kutoti vanhu vakatanga kusawirirana kusvikira president Robert Mugabe vazotaurira vamunangagwa kuti no chisiyai basa musi waranhasi wanga uri musi wa 9 November 2017 apo patakazoona toitoi yakazotanga musi wa 14 waMugabe vakazoresigna musi wa 17 chinova chiricho chiratidzo chinoratidza kuti zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka. So ndo zvetiri kuona ndo zvinogona kuitika muno munyika yeZimbabwe pari zvino because tiri kuona kuti ikulu mziri kutoloda iyi hazvina zvinomira zvakanaka. So tiri kuona panapa sort of like ndiwa Cyril Ramaphosa muri kuona pascreen apa ndo zvinofanira kuita president izvozvo than sort of like mazuva apakaya kuno kunyika yeZimbabwe vakangouya sort of like kunga ameno because anofanira kuperekedzwa nehead of state vachipinda maphotographs achitora achiita stand okuratidza kuti president. Tiri kuona kuti president wemuno wakabvunzwa vakatotaura kuti handini nazvo izvozvo because ini ndava chief handina nguva yekuti ndikaswera ndichiudza munhu kuti zvinhu zvakamira zvakadai. So ndonawo mamira dzakaita muri yeZimbabwe. Tongoti kana uri mutswasa panosina kusubscribe kulike nekushare. So tira kuti tinzwe macomrade vetinawo pano kupatsanura nhauwa idzi tinzwe kuti dzinenge dzichifamba.
President, Councillor, you need to have 2 bills separate. One to extend the term, and then it has its own referendum. That's a process. It's not a referendum does not stand by itself. It stands in a process. The process starts off by having a draft bill that states that you need to extend the term of this entity, meaning the presidency. And then, if you want the president to enjoy that extension, you need to have another bill that turns around and is drafted and says that this person should enjoy, and that again should be taken in a referendum. So it is not just a referendum. It is a whole process that includes a referendum. And it has to happen twice. But unfortunately, because I think sometimes political people think that we are stupid and that things need to be so simplified that the answer that they've simplified becomes so wrong. Whereby if the answer is supposed to be 22, they have dumbed it down so much that now when it comes and it's messaged to me and you, it is just 2. So that we can catch it. But now people have turned around and gone with that. And ZANU-PF has preempted that. This is why now a constitutional judge in a constitutional court case can propose something that is not even in the Constitution as maybe a remedy to this thing. This thing has no remedy according to our own Constitution. The only remedy for this is for it to be cancelled. And a whole new process, according to the Constitution, they have to draft a bill, put it through, passes with 3/4, all public hearings, and then here's the referendum. Come back again, draft another bill, goes through public consultation, goes through a 3/4 majority in both houses, and then here's another referendum. But because we do not like to listen, now we have created two wrongs and they are reacting to it. Now everyone who has been shouting referendum, he has to come back quickly and tell people what I just said. Or they will stick to their guns. Because again, they still have the mentality of 2023 of thinking that they have the numbers. Uncles, in an authoritarian regime, you might have the numbers, but if the numbers are counted in a system that is controlled by the authoritarian regime, your numbers are nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because you might pump the numbers in, they can pump more numbers. We saw that with the public hearings. In the public hearings, we had the numbers, they had the system. And you saw what happened. And that is a lesson that we have had for 46 years, whereby a system, you cannot, I do not know who told them that you can overhaul a system simply by numbers. That is an impossibility, especially when you do not control anything. So now you are starting to have a judge repeating what we were told and what majority of the people this side of the fence were crying for. And the judge knows that it's unconstitutional. And that is scary. That means they just turned around and checkmate us here. They just checkmate us. And we have to have a response to it very quick. But the response now will have to do with the decolonization of everyone based on a narrative that was set by those that have simplified something and made it a lie. The ability to say to people, simple messaging, what is needed here is a referendum. That's not what was needed here. What was needed here was this thing is illegal. It would have taken us time to understand, yes, but it would have not taken us more than 3 months. We would have understood that this whole process is illegal. It does not have any other cure. Even a referendum cannot cure it. If you put a referendum in front of it, you have done the same thing as ED. You have looked at the Constitution and you have read the procedure of doing this thing, and you have decided to create your own one. So we cannot now, seeing that we are finding ourselves, or the majority of the people are now finding themselves in the same WhatsApp group as ZANU-PF. They are interpreting the Constitution their way to suit themselves. That is nothing in the Constitution. This side of the fence, we are starting to have a large group of people, powerful voices, followed by a lot of people reading the Constitution, interpreting it themselves to meet their own thing. And both of them are wrong. And we've been saying this since get-go. But when we were saying it, it seemed like we are being not progressive. Yet in truth, you cannot stand, Uncle Jade, on the word of God, according to the Bible, and yet create your own words inside the verses that you are quoting, and then try and blame the devil that has misquoted and created his own words in the same thing to benefit themselves. You are in the same WhatsApp group. Two wrongs cannot make a right here. And they just checked Magdas. And it shows that we're not serious. We're willing to play short and long with something that is so delicate. And we have said it. You cannot resist an authoritarian regime outside of the truth. You cannot bring strategies of politics that have no moral grounding when you are fighting an entity that lives on lies. Because an entity that lives on lies, it can lie 24/7, get caught 100 times. It does not care. That's its character. But a single lie that you say, or a single misstep that you do, will cost you a lot this side of the fence. Because you have said you are standing on the moral side. So we cannot stand. Now, if the court judgment has spotted that, others will start to say, that's an advantage. Let it be like that. We need the referendum. We need the referendum. ZANU is going to give it to us. But there is nowhere in the Constitution of Zimbabwe that says that process that this bill has gone through requires a referendum. Nowhere.
Right. So, this idea that probably, this judge here, this justice is saying, okay, we hear you, we understand some of these things, and given how this thing has been done, probably the issues that you are raising here, these are issues that are better settled, by the people. Why not call for a referendum to checkmate, this thing? So you are saying that right there is even a wrong remedy. There's no kind of referendum that is going to be curing, this.
It is no. It is not even a wrong remedy. It is in the same level as what ZANU-PF has done. It is on the same scale of wrong.
Right.
It is unconstitutional to give a referendum to this bill and give the people of Zimbabwe to judge whether this thing is a yes or no. Why? Because the people of Zimbabwe, Uncle Jade, have pointed out that if you want to change a term limit provision, you need to turn around and create two bills.
Right.
One bill is to change the term limit. Yes? and put that, let's say Uncle Jade is the president. We want to change the president of Uncle Jade or presidency. We know that is Uncle Jade from 2 years, for 5 years, and add 2 more years. It goes through a draft. It goes through public hearings. It goes through 3/4 vote. And then it comes to the people to say yes or no. Now, if you want Uncle Jade to enjoy that, because he can't enjoy it in the current constitution that we have, you need to put another draft to say we want Uncle Jade now to enjoy this thing that we just extended.
Right.
It goes through a draft. It goes through 3/4 of the House. It goes through a referendum and 50+1. The reason why we done that, Uncle Jade, is that we make this process so hard for anyone that wants to enjoy.
Right.
It becomes the hardest thing in our constitution to change. It and our rights and the land are the 3 things in our constitution that becomes the hardest thing to change. It's got a 2-lock system. Yeah? No, a 4-lock system. The other things have got a 1-lock system, and the 1-lock system is the 2/3 majority in the both houses. This one has got 2/3 majority and then referendum. Then for Uncle Jade to enjoy 2/3 majority and then a referendum, it's a 4-lock system.
Right.
And that is for Uncle Jade. Yeah? And then if you want the parliament to enjoy, parliament has got a 4-lock system as well.
Right.
So now we're talking about what? 4, 8 referendums for those 2 houses. Then another 4 referendums for the councillors. We're talking about 12 referendums. Yeah? Now, we've made it so hard that these institutions, the executive and the legislature, cannot move as one because they are separate. Yeah? Now, we have turned around and simplified. This is why I said the answer is 22. We are finding it difficult, or we think that is going to be difficult for people to understand. We have reduced the 22 to 2. Uncle Jade, 11 plus 11 is not 2. It is 22.
Yeah.
We should learn that is 22, not someone to turn around and messaging it as 2 and say that 2 and then think that we're going to repeat the other 2. 2, 2. 2, 2 is not 22.
Okay, I understand. Oh dear. Anyways, thank you very much. I think we was let me give you a breather, my brother. Let's hear what others say. Right. Can I go on to Macbeth? Macbeth, how are you doing? Macbeth, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm just to the whole thing is just true, and I have nothing to add on, and I have nothing to reduce. So maybe as of now, I will just listen. As a Zimbabwean who is in Zimbabwe, maybe what you are saying, the people in diaspora help us in managing the situation yatinayo panguva ineyi. Because at times feel out vanhu havasi nesu, but michitotaura mi totinikareja tichiona matoziva kuti ndoshandisa strategy yakashandiswa zvakataura naZeti, ndoshandisa strategy yakataura naUncle Jade, ndoshandisa strategy yakataura pagroup raUncle Jade nguva iyaiya naningi. No, you get the point. When I'm back here in Zimbabwe, so I was listening kuna mudharaji achitaura kune imwe inonzi space neconversation yaitana namadhoko hachasi nyaya yekutaura, yanyaya wolisena, wodzidza, wadzidza, then you come to an action, and an action iri powerful. Itadzvanyirirwa. I'm just 39 years old. tadzvanyirirwa these hooligans weanzanu-pf vachita zvavanongoda, and by the time we need to act, they have their own means of attacking us. But here we are learning so many things of doing away with those attacks or of attacking them. So as of now, I don't have much thing to say.
All right.
Let me listen and then let people say what they need. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I see there's one. Is it Max Africa? Max Africa.
Yeah, no, I think I'm more on the Macbeth side. I just literally joined less than 10 minutes ago. I'm just trying to understand the gist of the conversation. Yeah, I'm not going to add my 2 cents as of now. I'll let the conversation flow, and then maybe later
Right.
on make a contribution.
Yeah. Next time, when you join, when you're trying to suss out what is happening, you don't request for the mic. You request for the mic, I would assume that you've been listening and you want to make a contribution. So yeah.
I'm wondering how the request went through, because I didn't physically request.
Or is it? I thought my brother wants to come and give us, something here. But anyway, not to worry, my bro.
Anyway,
Not to
yeah, I
worry.
mean, I can add my 2 cents, but I think it'll be premature.
Oh yes, yeah. No, that's fine. I hear you. On that aspect. I hear you. So stay there. When you're good and ready, just raise your hand. Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Can I have coach?
Greetings.
Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. I understand,
Yeah.
busy schedules and stuff like that.
Life is there. We
Sorry,
live in
coach.
Zimbabwe.
Sorry, coach. Sorry.
Aiwa, kakoro
Ndakazvikudzezvoitika pamina space.
aiwa,
George.
iwo chimomira
Kucha.
lero. Aiwa chimomira magbedzi, mira coach watauri. Coach, go ahead.
Thank you. So, like I always say, I'm sure you've heard me before say, I always enjoy seeing Zimbabweans congregating like this on this spaces platform and sharing thoughts, all, the crazy ones, the learned ones, the wild ones, but in an atmosphere of civility and especially over a matter that concerns all of us Zimbabweans. So, yeah, it really zvinondifadza. But the matter is that Zimbabwe's constitutional amendment number 3 bill, famously CAP 3, is now at a certain stage. I think, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, the public consultation phase is concluded. It's come to an end. And I believe there's going to be its first reading in the National Assembly. I don't know when that is going to be, and I don't know how the process is going to go, but I'm keenly following, like a lot of other Zimbabweans, and I just wait to see what will happen with the public reading. Who is going to be saying what? Who is going to be for the bill? Who's going to be against the bill in Parliament? After the resignation of the opposition members, we know quite a few left, dozens left. I don't know what the numbers in Parliament are like at the moment. We are obviously, my reading with Zimbabwean politics is that we don't all seem to make a lot of traction, even for members of the ruling party and members of the opposition, or just general Zimbabweans, because there's a lot of polarization. So I've always been frustrated by the serious polarization between Zimbabweans. So I think that same polarization is going to convert to the bill. So those that will speak for the bill, those that will speak against the bill is not really going to be because they are informed by facts for or facts against. I think what's just really going to feed the discussions and the debate in Parliament and even beyond Parliament is just the polarization. So I don't know how we can fix that, if we could ever fix that as Zimbabweans. Yeah, I think time will tell. But like everyone else, I'm keenly waiting to see the first reading in the National Assembly of this bill. I think for now that's all I need to say. I just can't wait to see how this thing is going to unfold, how it's going to develop in Parliament. I'm sure maybe you guys, maybe you, Uncle Jed, could share more. I'm here to learn.
That is true.
Nyamasisa,
Yes.
I want to ask you, Coach, what are you for the no cab free, or what is your position?
Are you mad?
Don't say I'm mad. I just want to know what's your position.
No, it's a very tricky question. I wasn't
How can it be
ready.
tricky once you know what you support?
I wasn't ready for that, but this is what I'll say. Yesterday, I watched a video by Prophet, not Magaya, what's the other one? Prophet Talent Chiwenga, yes. So in it, he was saying, a few years ago.
I don't want to ask about.
Hey,
I'm coming there.
Can you allow him to answer? Let him answer in the best way that he can.
Allow me just to go around a bit. So Prophet Chiwenga then says, a few years ago, I shared on this and I say to Zimbabweans, the frequent electoral cycle that we use in Zimbabwe is going to keep us in an unending situation where we are always at each other's throats, because when the election comes, the election goes. But in between, there's also a lot of politicking going on, because it's seemingly a short phase. So his suggestion then was that we needed to lengthen the cycle between elections. And I have always thought, so to answer you, I have always thought that elections do Zimbabwe a lot of harm. And my take has been on the basis of what I have calculated to be the monetary costs. I think if we go back to the 2023 election, I have a figure of an estimate, but I think it's very close to what was actually used by both the ruling party, the major opposition party, and the other smaller parties. If you go back again to 2018, 2013, 2008, I've actually estimated that between 2008 and 2023, Zimbabwe is used in excess of USD 1 billion just to run elections. And then you say to yourself, yeah, I mean, $1 billion, if we had not had those elections, which elections didn't help anything, they didn't change anything. Anyway, we could have used that money to, for many other development or projects. And our relations as Zimbabweans amongst each other could have been better. The polarization would be significantly reduced if our electoral cycle is lengthened. So yes, from that perspective, I would be happy to see a 7-year electoral cycle. In fact, if you were to really ask me, I would want a president that comes once every 10 years. So you come in, we vote you into power, you run your 10 years, you're done, and then someone else comes in. Just once. No voting for the same person twice. This is just what I think.
So you think after 7 years the elections will be free?
Kochinga vanogara mumwena vasati
Guys,
I know. I was engaging him. Tatenda mira ndivaengage.
Manam Sadaro, man.
No.
Sadaro, come on, guys. Let us not go down that route.
Yeah, I'm engaging him. So you mean after 7 years the elections will be free now? When you talk of spending money, after 7 years they will be free. Come on, guys.
I am not
on a different level.
I am not going to talk about that.
That was your reason. That is costing money, and that money is taxpayers' money.
You asked me a question. Can I answer the question?
No. Yeah, I haven't finished my question.
I think you already answered your question.
No, but he just asked me a question.
Yeah, you answered it.
Uncle Gerard, are we the only country that is doing elections every 4 or 5 years in this whole world? that we talk about costing, we talk about $1 billion as if we are the only country in the whole world which run elections. Vanhu vasaine maphilosophy ekupesa.
Mirai. Problem yenyu yamunoita. You don't want to engage nemunhu critically.